Welcome back to the terrace garden. This is long to oot or long of August. This is a fig branch that is covering what are normally my steps and my dirt lockers. Rather than just prune the tree branch back, I think I can deal with it blocking my path a little while longer. I'm going to air layer this. And for those of you who are not familiar, what that means is I'm going to more or less wound the tree branch and surround it with soil with the goal of having it root. Once it does that, you can then cut below the root and you have another tree. At that point, you'll want to reduce the load on the end of it, so probably the prune back, just remove some of the leaves because the roots of the main tree will no longer be feeding water to the air layer. So this is a pretty simple process. I've had pretty good luck with it. First thing I want to look at, this is all new growth. The bottom is lignified, at least for the most part. So when I go to start my air layer, I'll probably begin between, or at rather, that node and that node. I'm not going to worry about the inner node. All of the cells that are going to reproduce into roots are at these nodes. I should simply be able to actually just break off the leaf. I'm going to try to not get any latex sap on me. Some people are allergic to it, and the more you're around it, the worse it can get. Such a beautiful leaf. Really nice shape. So what I'm going to do is take a bag of Pro Mix, which I've already filled. Just a newspaper bag. Yeah, I still get newspapers twice a week. This is just Pro Mix potting soil. I picked it up yesterday. And that's going to get wrapped around this part of the branch. And for good measure, I've already taken my Akatsune pruners and sterilized them. I'm just going to score the branch down to the cambium layer for more scarring, more opportunity for the branch to root. This might not even be necessary. I think last year I had success both with and without scarring, but I will have to check my records for that. All right, so that gets set to the side. And then I'm going to be using Clonex rooting gel. This is the hormone that essentially scars the branch to promote growth, and then that will take root. And I'm just going to use a single-use cotton swab and coat as much of that as I can. That'll keep fungi out of the equation. I already took rubbing alcohol over the pruners, so they're nice and clean. And to hold the bag, I'm just going to use some garden wire. It's going to get wrapped around the bag. There are all kinds of things you can use. You've seen people use Wawa plastic disposable cups from the East Coast gas station. I've seen little pods that people buy, but I'm just using plastic bags. One of my goals here is to not use anything that costs money other than just the rooting gel and wire I already have. I'll reuse the wire every year. So because this is clear in plastic, when the tree roots, I'll be able to take note to that. And because there will be soil around the branch, it's not going to have any light penetration really to speak of. So I'm going to actually have to take another branch, another leaf off. It's going to get wrapped over the branch. Because the branch is lower to the ground, I don't really worry too much about supporting the weight. It's not going to break off in the wind. If it were higher or a vertical branch rather than a horizontal branch like this one, that would be a concern. And I have had issues with that in the past. They've actually done well, even though they broke. I had a branch break in the wind one year and I was able to air layer that. It was still partially attached, but it didn't look like it was going to heal. There we go. So that's just going to sit there. 2 or 3 weeks from now, you should see roots. Once it's totally full of roots, I will then, like I said, I'll cut it off somewhere a little lower than the branch, and that will get potted, and some of the leaves on the other end will get removed. For now, they're going to stay put because they're providing energy to the branch and drawing water up through the roots. But once this becomes the main root structure for the plant, it won't be established enough to handle the demands of the rest of the tree. Probably by the end of August, I'll have yet another tree, probably not put in the ground right away, in the shade for a little bit, just until it gets used to the shock. And it won't be uncommon to see the leaves wilt if you haven't removed enough of them. It'll kind of take care of itself, just enough dieback to more or less rebalance the tree. That branch has to stay in my path for another couple of weeks, and then I can finally get rid of it. Do you have a favorite plant to air layer that's not a fig tree? I have so far only air layered figs, but I've propagated a few other plants and had pretty good success with Clonex and getting cuttings to root like those. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.